This is a corset making tutorial.
Hello beautiful people, you are welcome to our today's tutorial. In our today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a corset cup. In this tutorial, we'll be learning the easiest method ever, that even if you are a beginner, you'll be able to draft a corset cup with ease for both a large bust person and somebody that has a small bust. So if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, please, you are highly welcome. Yes, you are all highly welcome. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. So let's get started to the corset drafting. So as you can see, you see that I've already connected some lines, and these lines are our basic bodice measurements. This line here is the upper bust measurement, our bust point, our under bust, and the half length of the corset. So the next thing we'll be doing is to bring out our shoulder line. This is just for a guide, though it's just for a guide to guide you when you are cutting. You bring out your shoulder line this way and connect it like this. So after that, you just have to blend this way. So as you can see, I've connected the armhole curve. If you have your armhole curve rulers, you can use your armhole curve to curve this area the way you are seeing it. So after doing that, to get your cup, you divide your bust measurement by 8 minus 1. Like the measurement we are using is 36 inches for the bust. Divide by 8 minus 1 will give us 3.5. That is our bust pan or nipple to nipple measurement when you fold it. But when it is not folded, it becomes 7 inches. So because we fold the pattern paper, we'll be using 3.5 inches as the bust pan plus half inches plus half inch for seam allowance. It becomes 4 inches that we'll be needing for the bust pan, and we're going to be connecting it down to the half length. So let's quickly do that. So as you can see, you will see that I've already connected the lines. This is 4 inches here at this part. So the next thing we'll be needing is you will come to your under bust line and take 1 inch from both sides of your under bust. You can see it very well. You see that 1 inch from both sides of your measurement. So let's quickly do that. 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And after doing that, you come to your bust point and bring about half inch down and half inch upward. This is to make it avoid pointing at the bust point area. So what we'll be doing, whatever you take from your under bust is what you also be removing from your half length measurement. So let's remove 1 inch here and 1 inch here, and we'll connect. So after connecting it this way, you blend it to your bust side. Your bust line this way. Blend it this way. Please don't make this area to be straight. Just kind of blend it a bit so that corset will not just be straight, it will be a bit curved. You have your curve rollers, you can even use your curve rollers to curve these areas. Yes. So the next thing you will be doing is to come up, because this corset is not the type that will be exposing your bust area. You will come up by half an inch from your upper bust measurement, because you will not be wanting your bust to be exposed. But if you want it to be exposed, you will come down by half an inch, but we will not be wanting that in this tutorial. So just connect it down this way. So after connecting it like this, you come up, you take, that's 1 inch you take in this area. That is what you also be removing from the both sides of your upper bust. That is about 2 inch, 1 inch at this side and 1 inch at this side. Then you also blend it to your bust line this way. Take note, I'm using my free hands because I don't have the curve rollers yet, but I believe this will really help you to know how to cut a corset perfectly. So you connect it this way, connect it this way. So you see, after connecting it this way, the next thing you'll be needing is you come down by 1 inch from this half inch that you took, that is from this half inch here. You come down by 1 inch. You come down by 1 inch, and from this 1 inch that you measure downward, you take a vertical measurement towards the bust pan area, that is towards your nipple to nipple line. You take, let me say, normally when you open it's supposed to be 1 inch after sewing everything. So because you'll be using allowance to sew it, it will become about 2 inches, because you use half inch to sew this part, you use half inch to sew this part. So we'll be using 1 inch in this area. To avoid mistakes, it's better you cut it with 2 inch instead of using half inch, so that after sewing it fits perfectly to become that 1 inch exactly. So you just connect it to this line. This way. So after doing this, the next thing you'll be doing, you just have to connect from these parts here. Hope you can see me very clearly. So like I've explained before, let's connect from this area to down to this 1 inches here. Let me explain this again. You see this 1 inch that we took from this place is because when we open it up, it becomes 2 inches. And these 2 inches, when you are cutting on your fabric, you don't have to add any other seam allowance again, because you've already added it to your pattern paper. So when you have cut your pattern, when you have drafted it out from your real fabric, when you are sewing it, you'll be using half inch from both sides to sew. When you use half inch from both sides to sew, it's going to be remaining 1 inch at the end of it all. That is the reason why we use half inch, so 1 inch, sorry, in this area. So after bringing it out this way, what you will be doing is to connect from this that here down to this 1 inch that you marked here. So let me quickly connect it. Can you see? Can you see that I've curved it to this area? So the next thing you'll be doing is to mark mark it this way. So let's come over to this other side of the corset. So in this area of the corset, whatever you have in this part here is what you'll be marking in this area. All you have to do is just to add 1 inch or 1.5 inches. It's your choice. It's not a standard measurement in that part. If you like, you can just add exactly what is in this place. What do I mean by that? Remember that before we started covering all these ones, we brought out our bust pan. So whatever you have as your bust pan, or whatever you have as your nipple to nipple measurement, is what you marking in this area. So our nipple to nipple measurement is 4. Our nipple to nipple measurement is 4 because it's 3 and 3.5 plus half inch for seam allowance. It becomes 4. So in this area, we're going to be marking 4 inches plus 1 inch. It becomes 5 inches that we're going to be marking in this area. The reason is because this part of your bust is always bigger than the center part of your bust. It's always bigger than the center part of your bust. That is why we are taking it that way. So let's quickly connect that. You see, so from your nipple to nipple line that you marked in this center line that you took as your dart line, that is where you are going to start from. You measure 5 inch or exactly the 4 inches that you took in this area. That is what you are going to be marking here. If you like, add 1 inch to it. So mine, I add 1 inch to the 4 inches in this area. It becomes 5 inches. So what we'll be doing is to curve it from this dart leg here. Curve it this way. Curve it to your armhole line. Curve it to your armhole line this way. Then from here, you just have to bring just kind of make it curve a bit. Let it not be that straight. That straight line I drew is just a guide for me to be able to curve it a bit. Just curve it this way. So as you can see, you will see that the corset is already forming. See that the corset is already in shape. So admin is 4 inches that we took in this area, it will look something like this, though it's the same thing. You curve it to this area like this, curve it this way. So this is how it's going to look. If you look at it very well, you see that it is just 1 inch gap. That is what I decided to add to it, because this part is always bigger. So some people bigger bust. If the person has a very big bust, add one, make sure you add 1 inch to it. But if the person has a smaller bust, you may not add anything. You just use your nipple to nipple line here also. Nipple to nipple measurement, you also use it in this area and you get it perfect too. So after marking this area, the next thing we'll be needing is to mark out our normal body's measurements. So the bust we are working with, is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. 9 inches plus 2 inches for seam allowance plus half inches for seam allowance plus 2.5 inches for seam allowance. It becomes 9 plus 2.5 inch for seam allowance. It becomes 11.5. Becomes 11.5. See, it becomes 11.5. So after that, we come to the under bust. Our under bust is 28 divided by 4 will give us 7. 28 divided by 4 will give us 7 inches. Remember, we minus 2 inches from this center. From this center point, you are going to replace it back. Then plus your 2.5 inches for seam allowance, it becomes 12 inches in this part. Also mark it. Then our waistline is 30. 30 divided by 4, 7.5. 30 divided by 4 will give us 7.5. Plus the 2 inches that we minus at this center area. We are going to add it back. Plus 2.5 inches for seam allowance. It becomes 12.5. Becomes 12.5. So after drawing all these lines, you just have to connect it together this way. So as you can see, the corset cut is ready. So let's quickly cut it. Let me cut it so you can see it, so that you'll be able to cut your own when you are cutting. See, so you cut this way. Can you see me very well? Cut it this way. Make sure you mark your corset in order to avoid being confused while drafting it on your fabric. I'm going to be marking this part as center front up, center front up, and center front down, and keep it aside. This side is the side up and side down. So if you can see very well, you see that this is the side, this is the main center. This is what we are actually talking about, the center. See the way it is now. It is actually 2 inches now. When you have opened it, it becomes 2 inches. So by the time you sew by half inch here, half inch here, it remains 1 inch. It remains 1 inch. You see? So that is exactly what we are trying to explain to you. So what you'll be doing again is to mark out so that to avoid one side being longer than one side, you use your scissors to notch it, the bust point and your under bust. You notch it this way. Can you see? You notch it this way. Set it aside. Can you see that it is forming already? And you notch it at the tops. You notch all the points. Notch. Don't know if you can see me. The center front, notch it also. Notch all over. That is how you also be notching it in on your fabric. So can you see that the corset is forming already? So as you can see, this is the final outcome of it when I've already used my gum to gum it. As you can see, the curves are very much curved and it looks fine. So by the time we cut it out from our main fabric, you see that it comes out perfectly. This is just gum. So when we have sewn it, you see the curves becomes very fitting. See that it's very okay. So this is the final outcome of it when I place it on gum. So thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please comment at the comment section and tell us how it helped you. We are on Facebook and the Glow Fashion World. You can also check on that group to see other pictures of styles, and also you can follow our page on social media, also on Facebook, Glow Fashion World also. And You can show us your outcome, your final outcome of it when you draft it out, so we can see how good yours is also. In case there's any video you want me to work on, you can say that at the comment section so that I will work on it and upload the video for you. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe at the subscribe button so that you get notified each time we upload new videos. Bye.